Hello, and welcome to episode 7, 8 of Prog Review. And today, oh god, this isn't going to get any views. This isn't going to get any views at all. What am I talking about? I'm talking about there's a interconnectedness of all this stuff, all right? You know. So bear with me. In fact, what I'll do is... No, I'm going to... Because I was going to do this one, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to do this one first. So anyway, welcome again. Because I've changed... Because I've got 2 CDs here. And these are all kind of... I've got a run of CDs and they're all linked. Tenuously, I might add. But I'm spinning out. Or shall I do it the other way around? If I do it this way round, this is the way I intend. Oh, what the hell? Shall I do it the way? Yeah, no. I'm gonna do it the way I intended. So anyway, this is One World, One Voice. What? This isn't prog. No, it's. I guess you'd probably call it world music, but. As all the tracks run into each other, it's one long musical chain letter. And chain letter began with a young chap called Kevin Godley. The idea, I don't know if you realise this, but the world's about to end. Oh, there's environmental disasters. We've all got to give up meat and live on beans. That should cut out all the methane and the carbon thing and the carbon footprint. Yeah, what if you walk everywhere like me? What's my carbon footprint? When I run out the soles of my shoes, I suppose that's the problem. But that's not really a good footprint though, is it? That'd be a footprint with a hole in the middle, a hole in the ozone, carbon footprint. Everything is connected. But yeah, I don't know if you've noticed it, but there's global climate change and it's man-made and we're all fucked. But guess what? We've been doing this for years. You know, environmental damage. We've been doing this for years. Because some of us are older than me, but I like to think of myself as like ancient. I feel ancient. I feel like I was born last century. Oh wait a minute, I was. But this is One World, One Voice, and this was created to highlight the environmental issues at the time. Back in those days, there was a hole in the ozone layer. It fixed itself. Phew. We got rid of those CFCs, and they said it couldn't do it, but it did. It fixed itself. What do those scientists know? And so yeah, it was like a world music. Thing. It was put together. Rupert Hine is the producer on this, and again, he's a character that pops up occasionally on various albums. I'm sure you're going to name him in the comments, so I'll leave that to you. I don't want to steal your thunder, dear viewer. And I remember I was aware of this at the time, but again, it's one of those records where you go, oh, I must get that, and then you just forget all about it, and it just. I saw it in the bargain bin and I still forgot about it. Because you do, don't you? And this is surprising. How so? Why is it surprising? Because it features such people as Laurie Anderson, Robbie Robertson. A lot of people sing in there, and I'm joking. Peter Gabriel, I don't know if you've heard of him. There's your prog there. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. Yeah. Lou Reed. Yeah. And of course, Penguin Cafe Orchestra appear. As well as Chrissie Hynde, but we don't like to talk about her. But yeah, so it's a real mix. It's a real strange mix of artistes. And it's like... Oh, Gabriel did it with A Week in the Real World and Gabriel's Big Blue Balls. Have I done that one? Oh, and I also forgot Dave Gilmour, and he's actually credited as Dave Gilmour. Dave Gilmour. He's actually credited. He's on it as well. There's your prog. So yeah, all these people work together. Terence Trent D'Arby, Bob Geldof. They all collaborate and they create these. It was meant to be like a chain tape where you pass it on and you add your bits to it and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly if it worked out like that. There was a documentary, and I think it was on TV at the time, again highlighting the terrible things that we were doing to the environment. Do you think we learnt? Do you think it had any impact? No, but they'll blame you. They'll blame you. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Where we all know it's big business. Big business pulls the strings. Big business wants an easy buck. Big business ruins the environment. But they blame it onto us, and they make us sort our rubbish into various piles. And this is what gets me. Years ago, when I were a lad, right, we used to the glass bottles, especially with the milk. We had milk delivered in glass bottles, but we used to have like lemonade in glass bottles, and you could take it back to the shop and get 5p back, or 2p. Depends on what bottle it was. Wow, can you imagine that? That was like environmentally friendly. My folks, they used to put their rubbish out in a paper. It was an actual paper potato sack. No plastic involved. We didn't have plastic bags. When we went shopping, we took our own bags and our own shopping trolleys, so we did. It's only like in the 80s and the 90s that they foisted all this plastic crap upon us. You go to the baker's, you get a loaf, it'd be in a paper bag. Everything was paper. Lot less packaging, and it's big business that's forced all this packaging upon us. And I really suddenly realised I've gone all political in the middle of a prog review, but it's not our fault, folks. But we can vote with our feet. But it's big business, and it's big business that needs to change its practices, not necessarily us. Okay, it's because we've had this stuff foisted upon us, and if they went back to paper packaging, this is what gets me. You buy a box of donuts, and it'll be in a card box, but there'll be a clear window so you can see that there are donuts inside the box. It could all be cardboard, and they could just print a picture of a donut. We don't need to see the contents of the box. But yeah, packaging's one thing. Everyone's got too many cars. If I ruled the world, there'd be heavy taxes on anyone who had 2 or more cars in a household. It annoys us around here because we have our car. We don't use it very much. It's Mrs. She drives. But everybody else has 2 or 3 cars. And everyone wonders why there's traffic on the roads and no one can breathe. Everyone's got asthma. Get rid of them. Or promote electric cars. But then we've got, more ecologically friendly power. So we have to go nuclear. It's clean. You just got to be careful what you do with the waste afterwards. Or wind. Mind you, if we're all on a bean diet, that shouldn't be a problem. Those turbines will be spinning. I think you've had enough beans. Blazing Saddles. So yeah. But yeah, back in 1990, we were trying to save the planet. And this is the result. And I picked this up for £1. I love the CDs and new vinyl, folks. You got to get on. This is something came up in my YouTube recommendations. It was a Penguin Cafe. It was the collaboration from this, and I thought, wait a minute, that seems familiar, but it didn't. And then I looked it up and I found this, and I thought I better get that. There is a subsequent reissue where you get a DVD, but I think it's out of print. But get this instead. The artwork's better. And yeah, if you like the world music, do you like the world music? If you don't like the world music, then you can just go and fuck off right now, because we here like the world music, and you've got to like the world music. You've got to, because that's where the real progressive stuff is, and that's where this is progressive, because you've got different kinds of people, doing their thing together, and I always find that really interesting. There's a great clip on YouTube of the recording at the Real World studios back in the early 90s. Gabriel got all these world artists in and they all collaborated. And Andy Kershaw, good old drunken Andy Kershaw, who had a restraining order put upon him for hassling his ex, good old Andy Kershaw, sits and says, I can't see this working. Why would you have these people doing this? This seems like a great waste of time. Again, not really understanding the point of the project. It's to expand everybody's listening worldview. You know, you draw people in. So, you know, if you're a Gabriel fan, you might pick up the album just because he sings some backing vocals, and then you'll be open. Your mind will be open to other musics. That's how it worked on me. You see, into Andy Kirsch, I realised he was an idiot, complete and utter, you know, bonehead, for poo-pooing it like that. And I always find this really interesting. This is a really great album. You know, if you like world music, if you want capes and goblins, this ain't for you. But if you like Peter Gabriel and Laurie Anderson and the Penguins and some really interesting players working together, you know, and you have like you know, Irish, African, Asian, all sorts of, you know, mixing and matching, and ends with the Kodo drummers and the finale. And I thought it was really good, and I really enjoyed listening to it. It was a really transportative, you know, meditation. Oh, that makes it sound fancy. And the cast list on this is amazing. You know, it's even got Shakespeare's sister on it. Actually, Dave Stewart's on it as well. And his track wasn't quite bad. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest fan, but I dug it. And Dave Gilmour is on there as well. So if you see this in your bargain bin, give it a go. I'm sure someone's probably uploaded it to YouTube or whatnot. They do these kind of things. But if you want, I don't know, 52 minutes, 51 seconds, shame we didn't go for an hour, of mildly engaging world music, you know, for a good cause. Shame we didn't save the planet, though. I mean, crikey, was it 28 years to do it, and we still didn't do it. We still didn't manage to do it. Give it a go. All right. In terms of rating, I'm going to give this 5. Have any of the tracks got any titles? I don't know. Is there a track list to this? I'm kind of stuffed if there's no track listing. Oh, look, that's it. That's all there is there's no track listing. There's no names for the songs. I'm doomed. There must be some names for the songs. Oh, wait, what if I look at more? I ripped it, which is a good idea. You should always rip everything. Did I rip it? Yeah. It just says things like instrumental. Okay, instrumental, drum instrumental. Here we go. One World. I'll give it 5 One Worlds and 5 One Voices out of 5. I should have just done that in the first place. 5 One Worlds and 5 One Voices out of 5. Really good fun. Great for a quid. Loved it. Fed the soul. Good soul music. Made me feel like we could save the world, but we can't. Remember, the world will always continue. The planet Earth will carry on. It's just whether or not it carries on with us. And that's how they need to reframe it. It's not about saving the planet. It's about saving us. And they never really frame the message in that way. And it might make people think more. I don't think they will. But it's not the planet we're trying to save, because it will just wipe us out. There'll be a massive, you know, climate event horizon, which will wipe us out. And then a few million years later, the climate will reset itself, and there'll be some new animals dominating. A bit like the dinosaurs. And they were here for a long time, a lot longer than us. We're just a mere twinkle in a T-Rex's eye in comparison. So remember, put down that plastic bag. Do not get in the car. Go for a walk. You know, try and cut out some meat. You know, I wouldn't say you should cut it all out. You know, but reduce your meat intake. You know, again, that's the message. The message is all wrong. It's all, you've got to go vegan. Fuck that for a game of soldiers. You know, did you get a sanctimonious injection when you become a vegan? That's what I want to know. Probably not. And with that, I've alienated so many members of my audience that this will probably get only about 300 views. Even though it's a really interesting album, I'm throwing pearls before swine. Why do I fucking bother? I don't know. Do you? And with that, there's only one more thing left to say, and that is prog on.